everybody. Top of the hour. Happy New Year to everyone. Want to take advantage of our time as much as possible. I know a handful of us have a call in 1 hour as well, so I want to try to throw it to Dennis as soon as we can. The meeting is being recorded, and we will post it on the website probably tomorrow morning. Hope to get that up there by tomorrow morning. But just a couple of quick things kicking off. Again, Happy New Year. The second half of the season as we look forward to postseason at the end of the month. And things like that. I've had a couple of questions. Just want to touch on one before we kick it over to Dennis, that as you get into some of these late season tournaments, we have the opportunity to meet referee with two officials using an assistant official. And I've heard a couple of questions at tournaments around the state, including one here in Houston this weekend that had coaches question. And want to remind you of a mechanic we use at districts and regionals in the state tournament especially. We cover this at state pretty hard. That if you have a call and it may be contentious where a coach is going to question the call at the table, you see the coach coming to the table. If you have an opportunity, check with your assistant before you approach the coach at the table. If you know it's contentious anyway, you should be checking with your assistant just to get a firm nod or a validation there that you both agree on that call. But if you can't, check with your assistant before you go to the table for a couple of reasons. First of all, it saves time, and that coach more than likely, especially at the postseason levels, regionals and state, if that coach sees you checking with that assistant official and you both agree, he or she more than likely turns around and goes back to their chair because that's what they're going to ask. If it doesn't save time, you're going to the table. The coach asks you if you can check with your second official. You check with them. They agree. Now you have to make the determination on whether that is a coach's misconduct or not. And with all the direction we have on that, it's a delay of match in those type of situations. So we want to try to prevent those as much as possible. So again, just a quick assistant official mechanic on that if you have a situation where more than likely what the coach is coming to the table about. However, if you see he or she coming to the table, check with your assistant first, try to confirm that before you go, and hopefully save yourself a trip over there and save a misconduct, which in the end is saving a delay of the match. So without further ado, going to turn it over to Dennis. I'm going to ask everybody again to turn your cameras off. I'll be turning mine off here right now. And that way, hopefully it'll help out the bandwidth for Dennis on the videos that he shows. And I'll be muting everyone as we go through as well. So unless Dennis has a question that he calls on you, please stay on mute. Use the chat for questions, and we'll feed those to Dennis as often as we can. So Dennis, take it away.
All right, thanks, Rex. Yeah, we're not going to use any polls tonight like we did last time. I think it works better through the chat. So we've got 14 videos to go over tonight. One quick reminder, if you have a rules question during an event, please go to your head official at that event and clarify with them. If it's outside an event, you got a rules question, go to your local chapter rules interpreter to go over that and make sure y'all are on the same page as to the ruling. And then if it needs to come higher, they can bring it to the committee. So just make sure you're using those tools and making sure we're getting all the calls right. Even if we don't get it right in the situation that occurs, you'll know better for next time. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. Everybody see the presentation?
We got it. All
right. First situation here. We're going to talk about referee mechanics and see if he did it right.
Follow me.
Hold on, honey.
All right, let's roll it one more time. I know we have bandwidth, so we'll do it one more time, and then we'll talk about it for just a second. So good wrestling on the mat, good position to see locked hands, stands up. Okay. So in that situation, do we agree with how the call was made? I have no problem with the locked hands call. I have no problem with the positioning. I do have an issue with one thing about how the call was made. Please use the chat if you've got any comments as to if you saw anything that you would have an issue with or not.
Timing of the locked hands, Dennis, is being mentioned.
Yeah. The timing of the call is good. He called it well. It's that he called it, stood up, held it for a second or two, and allowed that defensive wrestler to make a move that he wasn't initiating when the locked hands occurred. Remember, on the mat, if it's locked hands, there is no reaction time, and the defensive man is only able to complete the move they're initiating when those hands become locked. If he's not initiating, you should be blowing the whistle immediately and making that call.
Hey, Dennis,
So,
Dennis, a quick question. Is the rule that they get to finish the move, or you stop it unless there's imminent scoring?
they're allowed. I've always gone with they're allowed to try to complete the action that they're initiating as locked hands occur. So if they're trying to
take a look at it. I think the wording is that it's stopped immediately unless imminent scoring is in place. I think that's the rule. I may be wrong, but I think that's
I mean, I think I'm probably saying it a little differently,
yeah.
basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason I say that is I think a lot of times stuff like this gets let go because, for example, if someone's trying to complete a stand-up, correct, that's not imminent scoring. You would stop it right there. But sometimes, a lot of times, actually, we allow wrestling to continue when in all reality it should have just stopped immediately
Right.
because a stand-up's not imminent scoring.
Right. So, all right. Anybody disagree with the discussion on that? Anybody good with him allowing that to go that long? Okay. We will move on. This is a quick one, and I don't have an issue really anything that goes on here. I like the positioning of this official. It's actually, in my opinion, really good positioning. It's unfortunately that he almost could have gotten hurt here, so it's real quick. So false start on green, and just basically, I feel like the official was in great position. He's in between the wrestlers to make sure that he doesn't have a rolling start, and just kind of just gets clipped. So anybody not like the positioning? Would you rather him be farther back out, or are you good with his foot being basically in the middle of the wrestlers? I know, Jaron, you normally, when I watch you, you're normally pretty in tight with the wrestlers when you start neutral. Okay.
Agreement, Dennis. All agreement.
All right, we'll move forward. That was just one I liked. All right. We'll watch this a couple of times. And it'll come back and show it in slow motion too. So we may not need to go back. All right, are we legal or illegal there? Do we need to see it again? All right, we'll show it one more time. I think it's pretty clear that red goes over the top of green, hurdles him. Okay, what's the rule? Are you able to hurdle your opponent?
I don't see how that's a hurdling of the opponent. Just me.
Okay. What's the rule on hurdling an opponent?
The rule is you cannot hurdle your opponent, but he didn't go over him. He kind of jumped over his arm, but that's not hurdling over his opponent.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Isn't there a distinction if he's on the mat?
Who's that?
It's Troy.
Troy. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Okay.
So this is why I'm showing this, is because whether he hurdles him or not, the defensive man is on his knees. So if the defensive man is on his knees, it is legal. Okay. So that's why I was showing this, so that we can make a distinction. It's not a flying squirrel maneuver where they're going over them when they're when they're on their feet. If they're on their knees, they're able to go over the top of them without an issue. So, any questions on that? All right, we'll move forward. All right, got good near fall. He's got a figure 4 on that leg. Comes off. Oh, I release the arm. Am I good? Oh, I release the arm. There's another 4 near fall. Oh, I released it. I don't have the hook in anymore. Oh, 4 more. All right. So who's got multiple near fall and who's got one set of near fall the whole time, and why?
There you go.
Can we?
You want to see it again? I mean, it's
Oh, okay.
You want to go outside?
so there's the end of it. He calls a multiple. We'll show it one more time. Figure 4 on the leg. Bellies him out. Figure 4 never comes off of that leg, guys and ladies.
Not a defensible position.
Okay. How do you get defensible if your leg is figure forward and your ankle's basically trapped to your butt? Now this is a college match, and maybe I'll let you college guys, Rex, Jaron, Dan, if you're on, kind of chime in on this.
Well, it's interesting, Dennis. The rule in college is that you must fully release the move you use to turn the wrestler. Whereas high school, it says the wrestler must be defensible or relieved of the pinning situation. So a little bit different rule, but in both cases, they've got to be completely defensible. So if the leg's still figured forward, the hips are beat or compromised, then I wouldn't give it there.
Even in college, this is single set of near fall, in your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys, is you'll see, especially leg riders, you'll see them, they've got the legs in, they turn a kid, and they let them belly out, but their legs are still in, and the defensive wrestler is basically stapled to the mat, and they've got their hands out looking at you, waiting for you to give the near fall. Okay, don't fall into that, guys. That defensive wrestler needs to be able to get to a defendable position, and legs in with their hips basically stapled to the mat is not defendable position. So
Yeah, that's a great point. I was actually in the room with some high school kids this last week, showing them just that. Keep that foot in, that leg in, keep the leg locked out. Look up at the official. If they award the near fall, go for it again. But you still got them beat.
absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely.
shame on the official for giving the near fall early and not making sure that defensive wrestler is in a defendable position. And make sure, communicate with that offensive wrestler. Say, I'm holding 4, holding 4. You don't have to tell him what he needs to do to get it awarded. I mean, he should be smart enough to figure that out, or his coach should. But let's not help them out by awarding near fall early. So, any questions on that? All right. So, locked hands. Let's go back and watch that. Do we have body cradle, false cradle in this situation? She comes under the leg on the far side, comes off that chicken wing. Is she below the shoulder at any point to get called for that locked hands? This one's a tough one, guys. It's kind of borderline on whether that arm comes below the shoulder here. And from the positioning of the official, would he be able to see that far side go below the shoulder? Because he's on the back side there. So you got to see it to call it, right? So if you're on that back side, are you even going to see it above or below that shoulder? To me, it looks like maybe for a second it goes below the shoulder and is locked hands. Real quick, reading Jonathan. Locked hands the only thing you're allowed to continue. Coach told me after the match I should have let. No. Full Nelson, you stop the match immediately. There is no continue of action in that situation. So illegal holds, you stop. All right. I guess if there's no other discussion, we will move on. That's just something to watch for. That false cradle, body cradle. If they're not over the top of that shoulder, then we do have locked hands. All right. Who's got illegal there? Do we need to see it again? Yes, ma'am. I'll play it again. Watch that knee. See the knee come under the elbow? The elbow, it drives that elbow up. As soon as that elbow comes up like that, that's going to be illegal. And that is a move that's coached. That's not something that he just came up with. That is absolutely a something that coaches show. I believe it started at Blair, didn't it? I think Kim was the one that wanted me to show this.
Yep. That's what made it famous.
Yep. They load it right there with the knee. They're loading it. Okay. And if you're on that, you got to make sure that you're in a position to where you can see that. And as soon as that elbow comes up, we're done. Blow the whistle, illegal, and start it again. So, but you got to be in position. Again, I harp on it pretty much, but anticipation and position are your best friend. So we'll move on. Okay, here's another one. All right, we good there? It's like the last one. Yep.
Everybody legal so far.
And this one's more of a hurdle over, but he was on his knees, so we're good. So sorry, Greg, you got bad internet. It's not my fault. Oh, I like this one. This whip over move, we see it a lot, and we see it more. At least in my opinion, we see more of it with the girls. All right. We'll run it through one more time. Make sure everybody sees it. Those of you with choppy internet. Takes it over. She's around the head. From what I can see, she is not twisting that chin. She may be on it, but that head is not twisting at all. So, who's got illegal? Anybody?
Everyone agrees so far.
You'll have a lot of coaches that'll be yelling at you, that's a chin whip, that's illegal. That's not illegal if that chin doesn't move. They can hold that chin, and they can take their body backwards holding the chin. They can take it sideways holding the chin. As long as they don't move that chin down to the shoulder, they're good. And as long as they're not across the throat, if they're not on the chin, if they're more coming up along the chest, because back when I coached way back in the Stone Ages, we teach our kids to put their fist right in the center of the kid's chest as they whip them over. So as long as they're not on the neck, not on the throat, not twisting that chin down to the shoulder, we're all good. So it's something to look for. That's what you want to see. You want to look for that chin, and then call it as you see it. So we will move forward. Okay, this one's kind of a long one, and I want to look at how this official starts the wrestlers. I'm not a real big fan of the explosive arm straight up in the air, but I'm okay if that's the way he does it every time. They go out of bounds, we're good. Also notice we're in the ultimate tiebreaker here. So first point wins. Sets him. Changes how he did it from last time he was on his feet. Now he's on his knees, almost right on top of him. Also, in my opinion, he pauses longer than he did last time, which we'll show it one more time, and then I'll talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to give you my opinion here. My opinion is him changing his mechanics and him pausing, in my opinion, pausing longer that second time to blow the whistle causes that false start, and he should eat that. So say this is, and I believe this was a state tournament. So say it's a state tournament final, and you change your mechanics even a little bit on a kid that's already got 2 cautions, and he false starts. Should you eat that or just make the call?
Eat it.
Eat it.
Eat it. It's state finals, and he's deciding the match.
Yep. And guys, I know it's been probably, I don't know, 8 years, and we had a state tournament final decided on a false start, where, in my opinion, the official caused the false start in neutral. So, yeah, Jonathan, wherever you set up, it should be the same thing every single time. You should go to the same position. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same exact position, but if you're on the outside on the circle, that's where you need to be every time. You need to have the same hand motion, have the same cadence with your second set and your whistle. Because if not, you're going to cause false starts. Okay. All right. I don't think there's really any more need for discussion on that. Just make sure you're consistent with how you make that start. All right, here's another one, and I'm glad that it's a longer one, and I'm glad we've got the captions on here. Okay, they go out of bounds. Okay. In sudden victory, kid walks to the center, doesn't put his foot on the line. Caution, 1 for green. So obviously he's had 2 either false starts or bad position. What the coach is saying is normally the officials say step to the line. Okay. That's not a mechanic that you have to use. I don't use it. And one of our points of emphasis this year is false starts and starting position. Okay, he doesn't change his call. So first, before we finish this, first, are you making that call? Kyle, Kaiser and Jonathan, you say that second step when they're on the mat. You don't say it in neutral. So I don't know if that was a question for this. But so they go out of bounds, they come center, they're tired. Do you give them a second to realize that they haven't stepped on the line, or do you immediately bang them with that caution and 1? Jeremiah, you're fighting a losing battle with that because I can tell you right now there are different mechanics for guys starting, especially in neutral. You'll see officials touching guys' shoulders and then coming back. You'll see guys in the center bringing their arm up.
I mean the specific hand motion.
Coming up with it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's become the one thing that's really bugged me. It's like it's so easy to fix too. That's why I get so aggravated about it.
Okay. So who in neutral starts, who before the wrestlers come step to the line, do you say on the line or foot on the line or step to the line? Or do you allow them to figure it out on their own?
I usually say on your colors.
Okay. Does anybody feel there's an issue with saying that? It's coaching the wrestlers what to do?
I'd say let's go, toe the line.
Okay. So in this particular instance, in sudden victory, you would have gone ahead and said toe on the line? Especially knowing the kids already had a couple of false starts. So
Hustle back, toe the line.
okay. So I think basically everybody's in agreement. So we end the match here. The coach comes and questions it, saying, hey, they say step to the line. All right. Do we have a coach misconduct here?
Yes, so far.
Okay. Yep. Comes, questions the rule, whether it's a bad call or not. He made the call, so he questions the rule, nothing changed. I don't know exactly what he said to the, I don't know if it was coaches in the other corner or other officials across the way, but the coach pointed and said something. We'll keep going here. So obviously the kid that loses on not stepping the line isn't happy. Throws. What do we have there? Because all he did was put his ankle bands down and walk off the mat.
I have a question if it's okay.
Sure. That's what we're here for.
So, what if they come up to the line and just touch the mat? Is that a
So
caution?
with their hands?
Yes.
Yes. Nothing can touch in front of their foot on the mat. So yes, their hands cannot be on the mat. So that would be the same as if their foot wasn't on the line.
Gotcha.
Or I should say behind the line. So yes, that should normally is a caution unless you're the type to say, I mean, if it's a hand on the mat, then yeah, it's a caution. And then you explain to them. That's the biggest thing, guys, is I see some officials that'll just caution and tell them to get reset without telling them what they did wrong. If you're going to give the caution and the penalty, make sure to explain to them exactly what they did wrong. So, yeah, I don't think anybody has an issue with calling on sportsmanlike there. Whether you're upset or not with a call, you always want to try to have them shake hands. Now, there are certain circumstances that I have before not forced a handshake. If they've gone to pushing and shoving and almost thrown hands or thrown hands, I'm not going to force a handshake at that point. I'll give the unsportsmanlike and be done with it. So, any questions on any of that? All right. Next one. I'll start that over because I found it interesting that I'm not sure what the official was looking at because he blew the whistle with the top kid not even close to being in correct positioning. You can see he gets set, hand on the chest, whistle blows. Oh, then he blows it. So we'll keep going though. I just thought that was interesting that he would have blown the whistle with it so obvious. All right. So he's got that side headlock, got the side headlock. First thing, he calls a stalemate on that. Who agrees with a stalemate when that top man is just hanging on with a side headlock? Jose, I disagree with you somewhat. The only time we're going to stalemate because it's the ultimate tiebreaker is with if they get on that ankle. That's the one caveat we have is if they get on that ankle, we immediately call a stalemate the first time. And then if they do it again on the ankle, then we go to stalling. But side headlock, I mean, they can improve. So if that top man's not trying to come off that side headlock, I've got top man stalling there. Anybody have a difference of opinion with that?
You're saying in the ultimate tiebreaker, Dennis?
Yeah, in the ultimate tiebreaker, we have the caveat that if a wrestler drops to that ankle the first time, immediately the first time, but that's not dropping to an ankle. That's sitting on a side headlock. To me, that's a different situation.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I think that's a gut call. If you think he's doing it to just, to stall it out, then you got a tough decision to make. If you think it just like natural wrestling took it there, you could stalemate it quick the first time, but certainly the second time if he's going there, you're probably going the same as the drop down. That's a tough
Okay.
one.
Okay. But
I think again, it's just knowing wrestling. Most of us wrestled. If you wrestled and you know the situation, did he go there to stall it, or did he go there because the guy tried to escape and he captured him and brought him back? It's a tough one.
right. And that's also where communication comes into play is make sure you're talking to him. Work to improve, guys. We got to improve.
But I agree with you 100%, Dennis. I think just like that drop down to an ankle, obviously we're dropping that. You could say they do the same thing. Guys doing a quick stand up, he drops down there, you stalemate it quick and get out. But they can improve from that as well. So it's really again, those ultimate tiebreaker situations are tough, but that's why you're there to make the tough calls.
Right. So we'll let it continue on here because that wasn't really why I wanted to be showing this.
Yeah.
So we're back down. Okay. Top guy throws the leg in. Okay. We got PD. We stop it. Now we're coming to the part that I have a question on. All good. All set. Bottom man stands. Top man throws the hooks in. Oh, stalling bottom man, 1 point green. And these leg situations are tricky situations on who causes the stalemate. So he PD'd the first time. So let's watch this again. He stands up. Does he stand up with the leg in, or does he stand up and top man throws the leg in? Because if top man throws that leg in after he stand up or in the process of standing up, I've got top man stalling all day long. So I think that's what the coach is trying to argue and asking him to talk to his assistant. And I'd like to get other people's opinions on this because this is a tough one. And I've had coaches go nuts on me either way. Where you've got a leg rider and they're throwing the leg in to try and take them back down, but it's PD. So, and in multiple situations, then you're looking at, are they just throwing the legs in to get that PD to get back down to the mat? Talks to his assistant, call doesn't change. So who thinks the bottom man was still on his knees before the legs went in? Anybody agree with the call as it was made on the mat?
I think it depends on also what's been going on in the match. How's that guy done his stand-ups? How's that guy ridden legs? Depending on that will help your decision versus just this little clip of when he put legs in.
Maybe.
If the bottom guy's been doing a quad pod and then goes to a sit out or a knee slide the whole match, and then an ultimate tiebreaker, he does a quad pod, top man puts his leg in while hands are still on the mat, then he lifts his hands. That's different than what he's done all match. I'm giving it to the bottom guy for stalling.
So in this situation here, do you have stalling on bottom or top? We're talking about this one.
I said I think it depends on what's been going on in the match. From this little clip, I think you could argue either way, honestly. He puts the legs in the second time while hands are still on the mat. Once his legs in, then the bottom guy immediately pops up. Or is that his natural stand-up movement? Or did he pause and wait for the legs to come in?
Rex, Jaron, y'all got anything on this?
Yeah, I think the timing of when he put him in definitely needs to be considered, but it's I believe what Sean's saying is that if he determines that that's his stand up early in the match, then that's his stand up. If his mechanics change during that is what needs to be looked at. Sean, is that where you're going?
Correct.
Are you ultimate tiebreaker here or just regular match?
It's the ultimate tiebreaker.
Yeah, the ultimate tiebreaker situation there, it's a quick stalemate either way, but
Right. And
run
he
it
did
one
the
more
first
time, Dennis.
He PD'd it the first time because legs in with the bottom man standing is automatic PD, which he does the first time.
Yeah, but it depends on who did it. You know, if the bottom guy, if you had it in, the bottom guy came up. I think I remember this one now. Then you PD it, but you say, "Hey, that one's on you, bottom guy." If he does it again, then it's his deal. He caused it, right?
Okay. So we'll let it roll one more time.
Yeah, and this guy's a great official, Roger Gehring out of Pennsylvania. Awesome official. Tough call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's bottom guy here because we've already had the stalemate. The first one, like Jaren's saying, because it's been stalemated, it doesn't matter who causes the second one. Whoever causes it gets hit the second time.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is if they cause it twice, it's on them. Now, if you have a situation where the bottom guy causes it, then the top guy causes it, you could go to a second stalemate. If you get a third one, it looked like it was both in the bottom guy in this one, huh?
Well, I don't, Jaren, I don't know that I agree with that.
I can't tell because I'm a little grainy on my video, but
well, no, I don't think it's the second time. My understanding of the rule is it's not dependent on who whether they have one and one or not. I think the first one, despite who it's on, is a freebie. The second one, despite who it's on, is a stalling. Is my understanding of it.
Right. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just I guess you're looking at who caused the stalling. Is the top guy jumping legs in after the bottom man has stood up or standing up?
The way I saw it, Dennis, is the bottom guy was on the top guy. I'm sorry, the top guy was on the bottom guy, came off the mat. The bottom guy is actually the one that caused the stalemate because the top guy was already off the mat. Even though his legs weren't in, he was off the mat. The bottom guy coming up is what caused the stalemate.
Okay.
But just one guy's opinion.
Right. And that's why I want to show these guys is you're going to see stuff like this and it's on you to make that call and make it confidently and immediately. And also use your second official there. Once you make that call, if you know that coach is going to come to the table, like Rex said, don't go to the table first. Walk backwards, put the wrestlers in the center and say, hey, I've got stalling on bottom. Is that what you've got? And if he says yes, and you go to the corner and say, Coach, both me and my second official have the same call. And I've got bottom man causing that stalling. Okay. And that keeps you out of a lot of trouble. So, but again.
So for those that are saying that the bottom man caused it, is that because you think that the legs were already in before the bottom guy stood up?
Not at all. Not at all. It's that the top guy jumped on the bottom guy and came off the mat. We're still wrestling there. Why? Because the bottom guy is still considered on the mat. So wrestling still continues. That when the bottom guy comes up to his feet, and when the bottom guy comes up to his feet, that is when we stop it by rule, because now the bottom guy is supporting all the top wrestlers' weight. So the bottom guy, in essence, timing wise, has caused the stalemate.
But what if the bottom guy was already on his feet and then the top guy puts his leg in there?
That's it. Now you got it on the top guy for exactly what you said, the timing of it, right? Same thing happens. It's just the timing of when it happens. So if the bottom guy, like you said, comes to his feet, then the top guy jumps on his back or comes off the mat, and where the bottom guy's creating, supporting all of his weight, then the top guy has created the stalemate just because of the timing.
Okay, so y'all are saying that because of the timing in this particular video, you see it as the bottom guy. Okay,
that's my opinion. Dennis, are you tracking?
Yeah. And again,
one more time,
like I
Dennis?
said, what was that?
Can we see it one more time? just to see which guy was coming up. If the bottom guy was coming up first, or if the top guy was throwing legs in before he started the motion to go up.
Guys, the bottom guy is already on his way up. Top guy puts in legs after the kid is all on his way up. That's stalling on top.
And it's a tight one, guys. And it's a judgment call, and it's about the timing of when he throws those legs in and where the bottom man is in that position. Is his hands being on the mat, but his knees already off the mat? Does that make a difference?
It doesn't make a difference. He's already on his way up. The guy put the legs in to stop the match.
I would argue against that one.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tyler. I'm not there, Patrice, but again, just seeing it differently.
Right. And again, guys, we'll move
in
on
his weight,
this,
regardless of like in this situation, bottom man is still is in a defensive position regardless. So the offensive guy still has the royalties to throw that leg in, and he's already got the leg in before the hands are up at that point. So he technically beat the bullet in this circumstance, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I mean, that's what I see.
Again, guys, and I appreciate all the feedback. And
I think, Dennis, tell me if I'm wrong, is when he's in the act of coming up, right? So if he's in the act of coming up, even if the hands are down, that's why this is such a tight call, then it can be. And that's why he's got to make a decision. And Rex, I don't know. I've always heard that, and maybe I'm dead wrong in this, but regardless if it's a second one or not, if the first one's charged to a wrestler and the next one's charged to the next wrestler, you basically go to a third. But I could be dead wrong on that. Maybe it's changed, but that'd be a tough call to make if the one guy caused it and then the next time the other guy caused it, but he gets banged after not causing it. That's a tough one. But these are as close as they get, guys. Great video, Dennis.
I mean, if you look at this still, the legs almost 3/4 of the way in, I would say. Hands are still on the mat. So again, it's a bang bang call. It's about timing. And again, using your second official, getting their input on it, and being confident in however you're going to call it. So we'll move on. All right. Hands up, hands on the mat. Oh, hands on the mat. Is he baiting that locked hands call, guys? Is he really needing to put his hands down to support himself? Or is he trying to look for a locked hands call?
He's looking for a locked hands.
And I'm really surprised. That's a college match, and I'm surprised to see it in a college match. You don't really see it, or at least in my opinion, you don't see it as much in college. But high school kids absolutely will stand up and still see the locked hands, and they will have a mad dash to put those hands back down to try and get that call. And I mean, Rex and Jaron, I'd love to get your opinion on this one, because we know who that official is, and he's one of the best in the country. Is that something that you're automatically going to call locked hands no matter what? Even like some guys are saying, is he's looking at the official. He's looking at Angel trying to get that call.
It looks like he's baiting him to me.
I'm ignoring that one, Dennis, and I'm actually saying you're baiting him. And if he continues to do it, I'm stopping it and hitting him for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Right. Just because, Dennis, like you said, he's looking right at the official. He's baiting him, and I agree with Jaron. You want to try to prevent it first before you call it.
Okay. So you would warn him about, hey, you're baiting him, and then if he continues, then call the unsportsmanlike. You wouldn't call the unsportsmanlike immediately.
Yep. If you can prevent it, right? But it's quick. It's right. It's you can't let it go 20 seconds, obviously.
Right. So
yeah, in that situation, I don't even know how you'd be able to even get words out to say don't bait him by the time he does it again.
Yeah, I mean, let's count how many times he puts his hands down once he comes up. So he's off. There's one. Oh, there's two. I mean, and he holds it there. I mean, he's not moving to try and get away. He's just holding his hand on the mat just to put it on the mat, to have that contact with the mat. So it's something to look for. Make sure that you're paying attention to, obviously, if he's being bumped forward, if that top wrestler is bumping him forward, trying to get him back down to the mat, and his hands go on the mat to catch himself, then it is on the defensive wrestler to unlock. But make sure you're watching that. So we'll move on. All right. This should be the last clip, and I caught it a little short, but this is from neutral, guys. Okay, he called no takedown on that. Do we have a takedown?
Gallery says yes.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's pretty clear, and I'll stop it when I'm calling a takedown.
Right there.
Right there, I've got control of both legs, weight on his hands on the mat. It's pretty clear. So I'm not sure what he was looking for to get more of a call for takedown, unless he's one of those officials that feels like you need to move all the way up to the hips. But even then, I mean, so hope we're all in agreement that was a takedown. And that's it, guys. Short one tonight. I wanted to try and get it through because I know the executive board has a meeting at 8. We will meet again on the 25th, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, our last call will be on the 25th. I want to try and really hammer 2 official mechanics on that call. So if you see any videos that shows good or bad mechanics with 2 officials, please feel free to send them my way. And we will go over that, and then anything that comes up between now and then. Again, if you've got questions at events, talk to your head official. Outside of events, get with your local rules and chapter interpreter. And hope you all have a good night.
Appreciate that, Dennis. Thanks again. 25th, like you said, the 25th will be our last call, and it'll be to wrap everything up. A good layout by Dennis this year on the timing of the rules calls, and that'll be right ahead of postseason work, districts, regionals, and the state tournament. So please join us on the 25th. Use the forum, use the website for anything that you have. Look forward to talking to everybody soon. Dennis, great job. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.